Hi guys, welcome back. Today we are entering a quieter part of the divorce process, a space that doesn't always scream, but it weighs heavily. We're talking about the emotional stage of depression. This isn't clinical depression though, it's the slump of the heart. It's the moment when someone truly realizes that the marriage won't be salvaged, that the fight is over, that the fantasy is dissolving, and what is left is an ache where certainty used to be. This video is primarily for those who have made the decision to leave, but there is a section for those of you who are feeling this sadness yourself. I will let you know when we shift, okay? I want to talk to you not as a therapist handling out distractions, but as someone who understands that loss is layered and that clarity doesn't always feel empowering. It can feel hollow at first. But today we will explore how to recognize this stage in your partner, how to meet it without falling into, and how to stay human in the face of someone else's sorrow or your own. Now, let's go into talk a little bit of what depression looks like in your partner. We often think of sadness as something visible that might include tears, dramatic expressions, declarations of pain, etc. But sometimes it shows up as absence, a kind of emotional blankness. And in the context of divorce, your partner's depression might look like, for example, emotional flatness. They are no longer arguing or pleading. They are just quiet. Also as apathy. They might stop showing up to conversations, to co-parenting tasks, even to life. And it could also look like a withdrawal silence, not to punish you, but because words don't seem to matter anymore. They could use phrases like whatever or it doesn't matter now. And let's be very clear, this isn't about manipulation. It's what happens when the loss finally lands and there is no more energy to fight it. Yeah? So why this stage feels so heavy? Depression can be very disoriented because it doesn't chase you, it retreats you. And that withdrawal, you can feel eerie. You might start to wonder, are they okay? Should I do something? And if you are the one who made the decision to leave, this part can really rattle your sense of peace. You might feel cruel sometimes or wonder if this sadness is a sign that you should reconsider your decision. But here is the nuance. Witnessing pain doesn't mean you have caused it. And someone's grieving doesn't mean you are wrong. It just means that they have started to face the truth of the decision you had decided to take. So it's important to know what not to do. When someone you once loved is in this stage, the urge to soften, to save, to soothe is very strong. But here's what often makes things worse. You had to stop trying to cheer them up, saying things like you will feel better. That totally skips over the depth of what they are actually feeling. So you need to let them sit on it. You need to avoid offering fixes. Why don't you go on a trip or just keep yourself busy? That's a way of asking them to stop making you uncomfortable. Another thing to avoid is reopening the door. If you reach back out romantically just to lift them up, you risk creating false hope and you are ultimately delaying healing for both of you. So, what does a more relational attuned response could look like? You can acknowledge without absorbing. You can let them know that you can see how much this hurts and that you really care, but that you're not going to step back into something you have chosen to end. Another thing, you stay consistent, not out of coldness, but because clarity is a gift for the other part, especially when everything else feels like quicksand. You have to resist rescuing. Their sadness isn't a test of your love. It's a stage for them, and it's a sacred one. And sometimes the most respectful thing you can do is not interrupt it. Now, if this sadness belongs to you, if you are the one in the fog, this part is for you. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You are not failing at moving on. You are in grief, and grief has its own lifetime. Don't rush this. Don't numb it out with productivity or distractions. Let it soften you. Let it speak. Ask yourself questions like, what part of me is mooring? What am I afraid that will never return? What do I still need to say to myself, not to them? And reach for someone who can sit with your pain without trying to rearrange it. A therapist, a friend that knows how to do this without distracting you. If you are witnessing this in your partner, try this. If my partner becomes distant or withdrawn, I will stay clear and present without collapsing into guilt. If you are the one feeling the emotional weight, say this: I will choose one small act of care today that connects me to myself, something nourishing and not numbing. This stage is about emotional integrity, guys. About not abandoning yourself even when it feels tempting to numb, to avoid, to fix. Depression during divorce isn't failure. It's the slow unwinding of a shared life. A period where the future feels uncertain, of course, and the past feels like haunting. So let yourself move through it, whether you are observing it or you are experiencing it. Don't mistake the quiet for nothingness. There is meaning in the stillness. There is truth in the ache. If this resonated with you, I would love to hear your reflections in the comments. Have you experienced this stage in yourself or in someone else? How did you hold your center? And if you are following this series, please subscribe so you don't miss the final part, where I'm going to talk about acceptance. Not as closure, but as a beginning of a different piece of peace. Take care.